Getting ready to replace the fuel injectors on this 2001 Mazda 66 2.5 liter. And so what I've done so far is I've taken the fuel pump relay out, which is right here. I took the gas cap off and I cranked it over. It started up and then died, and then I cranked it a few more times to get the fuel out, fuel pressure, relieve the fuel pressure, and then I pulled the battery out. All right, so the next thing I think I'm gonna have to do, I have to read the book, but I have to pull this air box out. It's kind of hard to see down in there. I don't have enough light. I wonder if I can turn my light on here. I got the light on for the phone. All right, yeah, so I got to take this fuel box out because these fuel rails right here, the two fuel rails are going to have to slide out, and it's kind of hard. I wish I could run this on this thing is zoomed in too much, but anyway, you take the fuel box out, fuel box comes out, and then the fuel rails will slide out towards the fuse box, relay box. All right, so more to come. I bought these fuel injectors off eBay. That's the number on them. Probably from China or somewhere, I don't know. Price is right, so hopefully these will work. Alright, I'm going to open up the box and see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, so these are rebuilt injectors. I see a little nick there. They're all a little bit, you know, slightly beat up looking, but that's it. Alright, see how these work. And luckily there's 6 in the box. Okay, I think I got everything off of this air box. There was 3 nuts, 1 on this side, 2 on that side. I've loosened up the hose clamp there and taken these 2 bolts out. I'm going to try to take this all out at once. The air mass sensor unplugged. There's a sensor here, it's unplugged, and then I removed this bracket here with some hoses on it. So I think that's everything. I may have to remove this. I think I'll remove this one. This one broke off a long time ago. I'm going to remove this 1 bolt, and then I think I can take this box out. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I just pushed the air box out of the way. There was 1 more hose on the back here. I took the clamp off and just rotated it out of the way. So the next thing I got to do is trying to get to this fuel rail. There's a vacuum hose. It goes to a diaphragm of some sort right here. I'm gonna have to pull that off, and it's connected to this thing here, right there. And then this is kind of in the way, but I think we can work around that. And then I've got another plug that goes to the fuel rail, 2 plugs, and I would imagine that they will only go on one way, so you can't get them backwards or whatever. Anyway, I got to take these 2 plugs off, and there's the banjo fitting. Let's see this. You can kind of see it right down there. Where's my finger? Right there's the banjo fitting, fuel going in, and then the return line is down here. So we're gonna probably have some fuel leaking around here. Alright, that's about it for now. Alright, I got the banjo side fuel rail out. One thing is I lost one of these. There's plastic insulators or spacers that go in here. It shouldn't be too hard to find though, because these are pretty good size. This one fell all the way down to the ground, so I need to find 1 more. Your Allen bolts go through here. So there's the injectors. There's that one. Okay. I'm going to get that other fuel rail out and then we'll replace the injectors. Okay, I managed to get this one out and these spacers stayed in there, or that's how they go in there like that. So I gotta figure out where that one is. It fell down somewhere down in there. Okay, I'll take these off. Okay, I got both of the fuel rails out, ready to swap out the injectors. Okay, I'm getting ready to swap out the injectors. Here's the new one, a rebuilt one. Goes in just like that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. Okay, I got 3 of the new injectors put in, and I had to reuse these electrical, I don't know, they're not really insulators, but they came off the old ones. I put 30 weight motor oil on the O-rings. That's O2 sensor, bank 1, sensor 1. It's going up to 920, down to 65. Give it a little gas. Alright, give it some gas. See her. Went down pretty lean there. It's about 2,800 RPM. Around 500 or 600. Back to idle. Okay, so now we'll look at the sensor on the other bank. So this is bank 2. O2 sensor, bank 2, sensor 1. See how, yeah, see it's not fluctuating as much. See that? That's how it should look. So there's definitely a problem with bank 2. See that's how it should look. Alright, so we got some kind of issue. And so 850 is the max. It's just nice. That's running really well on bank 2. Bank 1 is just all over the place. Okay. Normalized. That spike there kind of messes things up. Okay, I think we got enough data. Vacuum looks good. It almost, it says 18.5. Idle. It's steady. Alright, we're back on the 01 Mazda 626. Gonna replace that bad fuel injector on cylinder 5. So I pulled out the fuel pump relay, cranked the motor over to relieve the fuel pressure, and I went and disconnected the negative battery cable, and so like I talked about earlier, I'm going to pull this. It's hard to see, but bank 2 fuel rail is going to come back out, and I've got the new injector from Napa, and when I get that out, I'm going to check the resistance on the bad injector. Alright, I'm not going to show the work, I'm just going to pull it out, and I'll show you the rail when I get it out. Okay, I've got one of the old injectors set up here. I'm going to put 12 volts here. Hopefully you can hear that clicking. Okay, so I'm going to show the bad injector. Bad eBay injector. Like there's no clicking. It's not working. Or the injector's stuck or something. Okay. So one of the things I did was I put the ohm meter on it as soon as I got it out, and it had about 14 ohms. So the coil is okay, but for some reason it just doesn't work. So I'm gonna swap out, I'll put the new Napa injector in, and we'll do the same test. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I've got the Napa injector. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the fuel rail. Got some motor oil on there. That's what the service manual says to do. Alright, we'll get this in and get her tested out. Okay, that's the Napa injector. That's how it should sound. Okay, we'll get this all put together and get it running. Okay folks, I think I got it. Last time we had around 18 inches of vacuum, and we're almost at 20 idle. We just started it up, and before, when it was running, it would sputter if I tried to rev it up. Alright, so sounds like it's idling pretty well. I'm going to hook up the scan tool and let's see what that says. Alright, got the scan tool hooked up. This is the short-term fuel trim bank 1, and it's going between 6 and 15, so that's way better than it was. It was at negative 30, which means we had I'm sorry, it was positive 30. Yeah, it was at positive 30 because we had that dead fuel injector, so we had a lean condition. So now we're down to positive 15, but it's going between 6 and 15. So anyway, that graph looks more like what I think it should look like. See the number at the bottom. Alright, now we're going to look at something else. Okay, so this is the O2 sensor. This is bank 1, sensor 1. Just going to get that in the camera. And that's how it should look. That's the way bank 2 looked. And if you remember before, I'll show the video where it was super tight together. This is how it should look, exactly how it should look. So this tells me we're firing on all 6 cylinders now. So that fixed that problem. Okay.